Hello world, my name is Rick McFee and I have some really cool stuff to share with you. And I mean, this is not just your average cool stuff, this is like big time cool stuff. And I think this is what Einstein and Stephen Hawking and everybody's been looking for. I'm just going to get right to it because I've made like so many videos tonight, every one of them got cut short. And I'm just going to give you the simple version and let your scientific and spiritual minds take you on your own journey. We're all going to end up in the same place. I'm just going to plant a tiny little seed. I'm going to plant a tiny little seed called, now I'm going to flip it. I'm going to do it from my perspective, and then I'm going to flip it and give it to you. I'm going to do something called let me take one step back first. Well, this is a step back. I'm going to make this a globe. And this globe that I'm going to make represents three-dimensional space. Now we have up and down, we have left and right, and we have, if you're thinking about it three-dimensionally as a sphere, we have front and back. So we have basically 3 different dimensions and 6 different directions. So what I want to propose now is that, well, let me go ahead and flip to the next page because I'm not going to over-explain myself like I did in every other video. So next page. Next page is, I'm going to do it from my perspective. It's called C to the 6th power. It's the speed of light to the power of 6. Now, Einstein came up with E equals mc squared. Well, matter is literally just a thing. We know the speed of light. We know E is energy, but we don't really know what M is. It's all matter. So how do we figure out what all matter is? Well, all matter is C to the 6th power. Instead of putting the 6 up here like we always do, we're going to put the 6 right here in the middle. But now I'm going to show you something. We're talking about the universe here, where everything has to be perfect. God, if God, I'll use the word God. I'm also going to use the words living light. I'm also going to use the words the universe. I'm also going to use the words your soul. It's all the same, different levels. You understand that already. Now, I did C to the 6th power. Now, what I'm going to do now is I need to mirror that because God has to be perfect. You can't have one without the other. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do C to the 6th power. So now, I've created a couple of different things just now. One is by flipping it, I made it, and mirroring it, I made it even. So God, at this point, or light, is perfect. Now, I also created 6 and 9. Now, those adults who are watching this might have an idea of what that could potentially represent. It represents a pretty cool connection between a man and a woman. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and just, for purposes of our brain being able to wrap itself around this, I'm going to call this male and female. Now, this represents, and at this point in time, it could represent two different energies inside of you. It could represent your 2 eyes. It could represent male and female energy on planet Earth. It could represent any 2 energies that need to be in balance with one another. This, if you look at it, take the M and F out of the equation, but they're in there, but take them out. What do you see? What does that look like? If you have a sphere and you have these lines, it is the magnetic field of that particular planet. Let's just say this is planet Earth. Don't even think about male and female anymore. Just think about the circle. Let's do that. Let's actually do that. Let's say this is planet Earth and now this is planet Earth's magnetic field. Okay? So now, Earth's magnetic field is not Earth's atmosphere. Earth is not just its magnetic field. Earth is its entire atmosphere. Right? So now we have the Earth in the middle and the Earth's atmosphere. So it's interesting because we just did the same exact thing at a higher level. So now let's take the Earth and its atmosphere and make that one thing. So you have the Earth and its atmosphere, right? Now the Earth and its atmosphere actually has other energy levels outside of it as well. And now this is where things start getting a little bit tricky. I really wouldn't even have to say anything else at this point because it just keeps happening bigger and bigger. Now let's just say, let's replace the Earth with the sun. So now you have the sun. The sun has a magnetic field, okay? And we, as the Earth, are actually somewhere out here as part of that. And we're in our own magnetic field, remember that. So now we're out here somewhere. Now the sun has its own, quote, atmosphere that's a perfect circle, right? We know that. So now, this is the sun's entire magnetic field and its reality. Basically, its energy is most concentrated in this field. It keeps going on. All this energy keeps going on. But we have to do it in ways that we can think about it. Let's just stop at the edge of the magnetic field. That energy is sort of contained inside that magnetic field. This energy of the Earth is contained inside its magnetic field, which includes male and female inside of it, which is why everything manifests on planet Earth basically as male and female. Plants, animals. There's so much male and female going on this planet. It's ridiculous. So let's just fast forward. Earth, the sun, and its magnetic field. Okay, now we have the magnetic field of the sun. All right? Then that is our solar system is going around this sun energetically. Well, guess what? Now let's just take a step further out than that. So now see, the brain just gets all confused at this point because you want to keep getting bigger, and you can. So now you go to our entire, let's just take a step backwards. Instead of taking a step forward, we can always take a step backwards and then get right back to the same place. So now if you think of this as the magnetic field of the sun, which I think we did, then it is in the magnetic field. It's somewhere out here in the magnetic field of the Milky Way galaxy, right? We're in the Milky Way galaxy, in that magnetic field, right? So we're out here somewhere, the sun. Our little solar system is going on out here in our galaxy. Now, let's take this galaxy and let's just put it here. Okay, so our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, is now here. And our Milky Way galaxy, now forget about this. Now at this point in time, since this is our Milky Way galaxy, this is now the sun with all the planets. This is our solar system. I think I already did that already. Anyway, our galaxy, our solar system. Now, if we say that this entire thing is the galaxy, so this is the entire galaxy now. Now we're looking just at the Milky Way galaxy contained inside this bubble. Now, when you look out from there, what are you going to see? You're going to see solar systems. You're going to see a whole bunch of solar systems, not just ours. You're going to see tons of solar systems everywhere. Right? So, now you're in the galaxy. So now let's take, so that's our galaxy, and that's solar systems. Now I want you to think of this as, what if this is the entire universe? And now our universe is here. This is the entire universe. Now, if you looked out from the entire universe, what are you going to see? You're going to see all of the galaxies. Literally, all of the galaxies. And in the middle of each of those galaxies is a black hole. We've already determined that. So if this is the universe looking out at galaxies, and this is also galaxies looking out at solar systems, and this is also solar systems, the sun, looking out at planets, and this is also Earth looking out at the plants and animals, and this is also animals looking out at our environment, and this is also, so you reach a point where consciousness doesn't really exist anymore, because you get all the way back to like the beginning of creation on this planet, before, when we very first started to come to life, when we became little blobs of things in the ocean. So now, that's really all I have to say. I don't really have to say anything else. Why do you think when we look now from our Milky Way galaxy and we're looking into the universe, they've recently discovered what they call a great big void in space, where you can't see anything. It's just a big void, and nobody understands why it's there. This is our Milky Way galaxy, one of trillions. I can't even, and all of these bubbles are filled with all of these bubbles inside of them, all the way down to us and even smaller. Now, and the smaller in the animals, and it just goes on and on. It's like crazy. So what I'm trying to convey now is that there's physical laws of the universe, and they apply at every single level. It's C to the 6th power. And the other thing that I only have a couple more things I want to say before this video is over, and I want to get it sent to this science fair that's happening today. I'm going to try to find somebody that's there or might be there. I'm going to post it on YouTube and send some emails and see if I can get this ball rolling. It's very important that if what I'm talking about is true, and I'm pretty darn sure that it is, that not only have I not created this has been created by all of the great thinking minds in the history of our world, and all the spiritual minds in the history of our world. That's the male energy bringing more of the thinking, the female energy bringing more of the spiritual. We both have aspects of both, but male has more of the thinking, female has more of the spiritual. That's why females are so emotional and men are always trying to figure stuff out. You know, that we can't stop trying to figure stuff out and trying to fix the problem. This is why we have such a desire to fix the problem, because we wanted to actually find this. This is what Einstein was obsessed with. This is what Stephen Hawking was obsessed with. This is what Tesla was obsessed with. This is what the Egyptians probably tapped into, and then some catastrophe happened and they died off. Well, they couldn't connect to the entire planet all at once the way we can. Maybe they could. Maybe it was a planetary-wide thing. I don't know. We're looking forwards and backwards in time at the same time. This connects to everything. It connects to the DNA, to our DNA, and even farther down than that, which we can't even understand. And it connects to our entire universe, and even bigger than that, which we can't understand. But what I want you to think about is the fact that since our universe, because it has to follow certain laws, is a magnetic field. So if this is our universe, these little spots don't necessarily mean anything except stuff that exists in the magnetic field. This is the universe. This is the universe, the eye of the universe, so to speak. And we live inside of it. The same thing happens at every level. This is the eye of the universe. We are in this magnetic field. So when we look out in time, and this is a magnetic field, and if you know anything about magnetic fields, it's going this way, and it's going this way, and it's going this way, and it's going this way. Same thing, this way and this way. We are literally, so we're in what we call the present moment. This is our spiritual energy, so to speak. When we're talking about magnetic fields, this is our spiritual energy here. Because we can trace it all back to the center of the universe. It all connects directly to us on every level. This is the center of the universe. This is the center of the universe, I mean. This is the energy field. You have light going one way and light coming another way. We are choosing how much light we want to be in. If this is the center of the universe, then all the galaxies are basically swirling around its equator. And all the spiritual energy, the time and the light, that happens this way. Time and light happens this way. Now, light, it happens that way, but it also happens this way. So it's kind of confusing, and it's going to take a while for everybody to get their brains wrapped around this. It's kind of like a gyroscope. It literally is a fractal gyroscope that just goes on into infinity. So the last thing that I want you to understand, and I'm just going to get right to the point, C to the sixth power is something that I call bubble theory. Let's say this is the center of the universe. Right? Now, all along the edge of the universe are what we would call galaxies. And in the middle of each of those galaxies, we see what we call black holes. Now, and I'm not going to go all the way around, and then on the outside of those galaxies, now, this could be a little confusing. This is just a visual, because the galaxies could actually be more out here even. And actually, if the universe is swirling this way, most of the physical matter is actually going to be in this physical gravitational rotation. So this is still looking more, it's the spiritual part of things. But just so we can wrap our brains around it a little bit better, these are the black hole. This would be the black hole in the center of a galaxy. This would be the black hole in the center of a galaxy. This and this. All of this light goes back to you. All of it. Every bit of it gets back to you, and you have access to it. Access to all of it. All of this light. And now, just outside of those galaxies are solar systems. Yeah, solar systems. Just outside of those solar systems are planets. Planets outside of the middle of those solar systems. Outside of those planets are matter, just regular matter, and living things, which is all part of the solar systems. And then we are part of this matter. We are part of this matter, but we are conscious. That's the thing. We know it. A lot of stuff doesn't know it. Rocks don't know it the way we do. They can't take in the pictures and put it into their DNA. Rocks don't have DNA. Life has DNA. We have DNA. We wanted to experience our world more fully, so we developed two eyes, and now our eyes are creating our reality, literally, through our human DNA. Now, let me go a step further, because this is going to make what I've just said probably makes people who believe in God a little upset. But remember, this all started with light crashing into itself at a very finite point. That's God. That is what we call God. I like to call it generating on demand. So it's just another way to think of God. So if you think of God as that, and you think of, and let's say that's the center of our universe, and we talked about all of the galaxies and all of the solar systems that are on top of those galaxies, and then we talk about all of the planets that are on top of those, and then we get down to us, and what has literally just happened it's bubbles. It literally is bubbles. We talk about something that we call the tesseract, which is supposedly inside of a black hole. Well, guess what? This is the tesseract, where all of these bubbles connect with one another. Bubbles of reality. And they are literally physical, but we don't know that they're physical because it's energy around us. We don't know that it's physical. But we do know that it's physical because now we get to start practicing with science, like reading energy fields and stuff. And I can stop here, and maybe I should stop here. Just think about a giant bubble that is effervescing more bubbles out into itself, because light is also coming in from every direction. And that light that gets in, literally, because more and more and more is being created, causes our universe to expand. And that is exactly why our universe is expanding. And because of the magnetic field of the universe, past and future are part of the same continuum. You have to go both directions. Part of the same continuum, flowing this way and that way. And we, as conscious beings, are choosing where we want to live on that energy field. The closer we are to the middle, so to speak, to the light, to God, the more timeless we feel, because it all comes together right there in perfect oneness. And that same oneness is what is creating life itself, time and I have one last thing that I'm going to add, one last thing, and then I'll be done. I want everybody to consider, this is a fun thing to do scientifically, that this is our sun, this is our solar system around our sun. We live out here in this solar system somewhere. There's all these planets and the Kuiper Belt way the hell out there, way out there. All of this is rotating around the sun on its equator, so to speak. This is the sun's equator. The gravitational field of the sun does the same thing. Just like this is all the way down to basic atoms forming. It's the same thing. Now, think about the fact, if you can wrap your brain around it at all, that since we live here, we see all of the light coming from the sun, because that light is literally being slung out to create all of this matter. We live in this matter, and when we want to go explore space, we always go into this matter, because we want to see all these planets that are out there, see what's going on, discover stuff. And then once we get through with the planets and we go into the Kuiper Belt and we keep going, we're still on the equator of the sun. Imagine what it might look like if you were looking from that direction or that direction. We don't have any way to see yet from this vantage point or this vantage point. What you would see is literally a black hole. If you could see it from here or here, you would see a black hole. There's so much light swirling around the sun, and it's all going this way, because if this is the North Pole and this is the South Pole, all that light is swirling this way and slinging off out this way and that way. That's why all this matter is forming here, because all those light particles crash into each other and create planets. And our planets grow because those light particles are continuing to hit our planet. Now, one last thing, and then I'm done. When we're talking about black holes, I want you to just think about your human eye. Just think about it. And just think about if the sun was a black hole, and you have light going around and around and around and around and around and around and around. What if, think about the densest thing that we know of on this planet. It's a diamond. Diamond. They've recently created a perfectly spherical diamond. Perfect sphere. And it literally is almost, it looks like a pearl. If you look into it, you see your reflection coming off of it. You literally don't see that cool sparkle that diamonds have, where the light's just doing all these cool things in there. The light is being perfectly reflected back and perfectly magnified inward from every single direction that light is coming in. But remember, the sun is slinging light out this way, so it's mostly taking in light from here, which is where I said the black hole would be. That black hole is there because there's more light coming in from that direction than there is going out. This direction, there's more light going out than there is coming in. So that's that. Now, all I want to say is just consider the possibility that the sun and the galaxies and the middle of our universe, that big giant black spot that they recently found, all of it, consider the possibility. Because you have to get rid of size in your mind because it's all relative. Theory of relativity. What if it's possible that they are literally giant diamonds in the sky? And think about this, because if it's got a north pole and a south pole, it's going to spin like that and throw all the light and the matter this way. So a lot of the light is going to come in to it from this direction, and it's mostly going out that direction. But what's happening to almost all of this light, especially if it's coming from any direction other than straight in this way, it's literally getting caught up in this crazy, super fast, ridiculous swirl of light. That's where all those nuclear explosions are happening. That's where C to the sixth power is happening over and 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 over again, nonstop, creating the basis of matter. And so the star, our sun, is literally growing into a bigger and bigger and bigger mirror ball that will eventually grow into what we would call a galaxy. At this point in time, it's just a star, but eventually it'll be big enough that you could call it a galaxy. But this happens evenly across the entire universe. And so I'm done talking about that. There's the basic science of it. So I am going to say a couple more things. If you want to turn this off now, that's great. But I'm going to say a few more things. And I'm just going to say that if this proves to be, and I feel like it's got to, if this proves to be correct, it is a huge responsibility on the shoulders of humanity. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Try to revisit the idea of the bubbles as I'm saying this. We, as human beings, we need to connect with each other better. We have to connect with each other better. You have to love your wife or your husband better. We haven't been doing a great job. We've been getting better. We have been getting better, but let's keep getting even more better. Let's kick it into overdrive. Because it was the balance between me and my wife that really brought me to this point. Something in me was like every single time that things felt a little off, I had to go be by her side. I had to go do whatever I could to try and restore that balance. And that is exactly what brought me to this point. It's because that male and female balance, the more in balance you are with your spouse, with other people, inside of your body. CBD oil, by the way, helps with that tremendously. And you the more in balance you are, the more it's proven your DNA, the fragmented DNA inside of your body. I've heard this. I can't. Somebody can verify it for me. It literally reconnects, and the more it reconnects, you are actually putting the puzzle pieces of life together. And so what I've given you now is the possibility for you to put your puzzle pieces together quite quickly, rather than having to go through the process that I went through. So everybody can do it fast. We have a huge responsibility now to try and not try to save our planet. But one really cool last thing, and that is that everything that's happened in our history will now make sense. Everything that you see and experience, all the research that you do about ancient Egypt, about DNA, about God, read the Bible, read any spiritual text, read about the Buddha and what he was experiencing. And then think about what I just said. Einstein, Stephen Hawking, Jesus. Most of what's happened so far has been specifically on the male side. We've been out of balance. We have to reconnect with our families, with our wives, with our children, with our bigger families, and then with our entire global family, and start healing our planet. Because this is the proof. This is the proof that we need to do that. And one last thing to consider, the hole in the ozone layer actually might be a really cool energy connection between us and the sun, where it's sort of creating like a lens. That's all I gotta say. Go do your research. There's a really cool DNA video that'll get you thinking. It's really good by Drew Barry, which is cool because I want to see more. So we can say Drew Barry more. There's this guy. There's a really cool video now about Egypt and about the possibility that the pyramids were giant like generators for electricity and trying to preserve the bodies of the pharaohs, like literally trying to preserve. And then, the possibilities just go crazy from there. Just do your own research, watch your own videos, get that vibe going, and peace out. I love you guys, and